I chose the wrong time to eat peanut butter. Hello, everybody. Hello. Give me a second while I get this peanut butter out of my mouth. What? Well, it's very tasty. It is very, very tasty. I wanted peanut butter, okay? And weirdly enough, I got the crunchy kind. I normally don't like the crunchy kind, but it's nice having, it's nice. It's nice. That's all I'm gonna say, okay? How much protein? 7 grams of protein per serving. And there's 14 servings. So if I have this entire jar of peanut butter, that is 4 times 7 is 28. So 8, 7, 148. No. 7, 8, 9. It's math. It's really hard. Alexa, what is 14 times 7?
14 times 7 is 98.
98 grams of protein. So, you know, if you have trouble hitting your protein, just eat a jar of peanut butter. It works. I can't talk. Commodity, hello. Saw your TikTok multiple times and from your kidnap. It worked. I'm here, so we all in the basement. You are in the basement. Welcome. I am a walking advertisement, actually. If you need your protein, please grab the jar of peanut butter and eat it with a fork. Why a fork? Because I only have forks. Why do I only have forks? I'm not answering that question. Anyways. Alexa, stop. I don't care. No, Alexa, I don't want your advancement. Alexa, shut up. Sorry, we're back. Hi. So, because, you know, everybody, I think some of you recognize this room, and I want to make sure that we all understand what this room is, right? Right? Good. You all know what this room is. So, there we go. Okay, I just had to make sure you all are comfortable and that you feel at home here. So, we're going to do our thing. You know, the classic. Step 1. First off, Silver Vang Rose, thank you for being first. Paranormal Duff, thank you for being second. And Vanya, hello, lovely Vanya, thank you for being third. And of course, hellos to everybody who checked in. So, hello, Neeks and Carmia. Hello, Macaroni and Cheddar. Hello, Red Moon. Hello, Silver Vang and Princess. And hello, Nap Time and Paranormal Dove. Thank you for the hydration, Cheshire. Let me get a little bit of water here. It's not water, but I'm going to pretend it is. Hello, Axif. How you doing? Hello, Savvy Addy. Hello, Pandragon. Stop bonking me. Hello, Naptime. Thank you for reaching a 25 stream streak. Hello, Kitty Lover. Hello, Cheshire again. Hello, Vanya again. Hello, Shay. Hello, Full Metal Brookie. Hello, Echo and Kimi Zoom and Ellie. Hello, Moss Dwarf and Ocean. And hello, there's so many H's. Yoshihiko Azuka channel. Hello, Sinful Microwave. Hello, Olivia, hello Onyx, and hello Commodity, and hello Misty, and Allison, and Casey, and then hello to you QB and Keely, hello Kakashi's wife, it's Sarah, hello Kakashi's wife Sarah, hi Sarah, I'm gonna start calling you Sarah, I don't know why I've never finished your name before, hello Sarah, hello Kira, and hello Aiko and Valorum. And I believe that is everyone. Hello. Oh, and hello, Osmodeus, King of Kings. Now I have to read it. First off, thank you all for being here. You all are so amazing. I do appreciate all of you here. But because we have Osmodeus, King of Kings, and I like reading, we're going to have to read the poem about Osmodeus. Or Ozymandias. Sorry. Ozymandias. One second. Because it's an amazing thing. But thank you. Thank you everybody who's found me from TikTok. And here we go. You ready? We'll pause this real quick. I met a traveler from an antique land who said 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculpture well those passions read. which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them, and the heart that fed, and on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty in despair. Nothing besides remains, round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sand stretch far away. I love it. I love it so much. It is such a good poem. It is such a cool thing. Just imagine seeing that, seeing half a statue out in the stone, out in the sand, and then nothing else. And this idea of just thinking it'd be around forever. It's a lovely poem. Anyways, hello, hello, hello. Let me pull you up, chat. Why can't I bonk you? Which bonk? I'm new here. We got so many new people here. Hi, everybody in the cage. Oh, 1 second. Okay, fine. Let me reactivate all the bonks, and we'll activate all the things so people can be happy and satisfied with their lives. But yes, lovely, lovely new people. It's amazing to see you. And lovely old people. It's amazing to see you. And today I don't have much planned. I think I want to hang out, to vibe. My plans this week start on Thursday. We might do some Cult of the Lamb. We might do a little hanging out. Who are you calling old? Not old. Not old. Did you not think you'd get a huge influx from Tim Tom? I mean, yeah. Are we usually in a cage? Yes. Yes. Well, no, but yes. Look, listen to me. See, I have to hit 75 average viewers to hit partner on Twitch. And that's when I start looking really good to sponsorships and stuff. And so I thought long and hard, how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to try to bring people in, of course, but they keep leaving and they keep doing their own life and they keep having things that they want to do beyond me and watching other streamers, which is awful. How dare you? So I figured out the easiest solution is just, locking people up in a cage, and that way they can't watch anybody else and they can watch me. So, bam. Twitch is going to come by being like, hey, do you have 75 people? I'm like, you sure bet I do. Look in my basement. Most of them are still alive. So, perfect. Floor time laying on the floor. Exactly. And I mean, we have blankets. I'm still watching my Oshi Can't Stop Me. Fine. But only when I'm not streaming, okay? You can watch on your phone. You get the big TV when you watch me. I can't. So, look, it's fair. I do understand. I don't stream 24/7. So there is some leeway there. I'm willing. I mean, I think you should personally just watch every one of my VODs and accept that nothing else is going to be better, and watch me until it's the only thing you want to watch because you've forgotten what other things look like. You drink water? I'm proud of you. Good on you for drinking water. Okay, let me activate all of my redeems for the evening streams. By the way, for all you new people, we stream twice a day, every day. Once in the morning at 3:30 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. MST, where we do an ASMR chill gaming stream. There's a schedule. And we also stream in the evening, 4 p.m. MST to 6 p.m. MST, which that can go a little bit longer. Where we do more chaotic, more energetic, more caffeinated. Well, more awake at least. Platonic. All I read is platonic. Okay, give me 1 second while I activate my bonks. I activate my... Not doing tarot today. We'll do tarot someday. I think that'll be fun. Activate all of the other redeems. Activate Pummel. Activate the Nerd Voice, which I'm cutting down to 2 minutes instead of 3 minutes. And then, lastly, let me pull out the TITS. Can we have a Nintendo? I will get you... I'm going to pull a mom on you. I'm going to say, yeah, I'll get you a Nintendo and then bring you a PS2. God, don't you just love that, Nintendo? Can we have plushies? You may have plushies. No, it's just normal jail, not horny jail. It's an important difference, because the point of this jail is just to keep you trapped. PS2 was goated, though. PS2 was amazing. Oh, it was so good. Such a nerd. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. I'm not a hot anime boy all the time. Most of the time, I'm a nerd. There we go. Okay, let's go to a different room. Do y'all want to go to the bedroom? No, we're not taking you to the bedroom. I've just met you. Protein D's nuts in his mouth. Who pinned that? Who wrote that? How dare you? So I have an amazing idea. Name any brick I own. I'll name it Chuck. Sleepy time? Can we make a fort in here? You absolutely can make a fort. I believe in you. Leo. Oh, okay, so let's go through the redeems. We have an. Why are there so many redeems? Okay, 1 second. Ow! Hey! What the? Why are you bonking me and petting me? All right, here we go. You ready? First, we have the sniff. Ah! Stinky, stinky chat. Next, we have the stupid whiny voice. I don't know why you want me to do this voice, but it was redeemed, so we're gonna. Don't hit me. I guess I'm gonna be in this voice for a little while. It's gonna be for at least the next minute here, so we're gonna be there. Then next we're gonna have the ooh woo. Thank you so much for the redeem. I hate that one. Gee, did you take your vitamin D? D's nuts. How dare you, nap time? It's so mean to me. Sakona, thank you for the check-in. Rose Hearts, thank you for the follow. And for the Onyx, I don't know if I can do it in this voice. Now people are staring. You should not have me on full volume anywhere. I'm gonna make this awful for you. Hey, classmates, Spicy Nuna over here is watching some very suspect things. You should make fun of them for that. Over here, person in the class. I think that was a minute. Was that a minute? That feels like a minute. All right, then we have the other redeem, the and lastly, there's so many redeems. Okay. Once now we have to do this German voice. We're going to do the German voice for a little while. Viney is strange. I know it's so strange. They like it for some reason. They want this. So for those of you who are new here, we were gambling one of these days, and chat said if they win, and they kept winning, they would get one voice to redeem, and they chose this voice. So it was not this voice, the other voice. Ow! Yes, they gambled and they won. You are cheating, chat. That's what this is. You are cheating. You've been putting these streaks against me, and it's not fair. Honestly, it's not fair. So I'm thinking about the vibes today. Okay, I think we might just do crime scene cleaner. Are we good with some crime scene cleaner? Just we hang out. We can talk a little while. Gives me something to do with my hands. Why are chains to the ceiling? Why are there not chains on your ceiling? Don't worry about this. It's fine. I know. I have to go through the redeems. We will get to the next one eventually. Give me time, Neeks. I can only do so much so quickly. Wolfbrook? Oh. Yes. No time, never enough. Incredibly pissed off I lagged off. Well, I'm glad you're back. Mid-poem? Oh no, that's so bad. Well, we will be doing another poem in just a little bit, so it will be okay. It'll be okay. You like the vibes here? You don't need to cage me after all? Yeah, but I like keeping you a cage. It makes it a lot easier for me to maintain the numbers. You see? Don't you keep hitting me. Do. Wait, Kilby, do you know Dar? Do you know Darod? Can I get you an iPad? I can give you an iPad. Yes, I can. Did I hear... Steph! Hello, Steph! Can we get a shout out for Steph? We need a shout out for Steph right now. This is very important. Steph Sue here. If you like hearing some soft voices, some very cool experiences, and you like hearing narration, they are amazing. They have this whole 3D setup that is so cool. Now let me geek out about them a little bit, okay? I'm jealous of the setups they have. First off, they have a cool sound booth, but when they stream, it is unlike this. Stop hitting me! I'm trying to talk. So it is in this pose, and you can change the camera and the lights, and they read storybooks, and it's just so cool. Okay. So go check them out. They are amazing. Please. Fantastic narrator, good streamer, very chill, very relaxed. Different vibes in here, of course. I'm increasing the price. I will fight you. But cool, QB. Well, I also know Dar. Dar is very cool. Raw dogging Gene audio. That is crazy. But I am doing good. And yes, it is time to drop this voice and let's do a poem. Because a poem has been redeemed while things are loading. Any preference on poetry, chat? Besides beating me? Or we can do Ozymandias again. How much money do you all have? How many points? I'm such a good doggy. Something about the fall. Ooh, we can do a little bit of the goblin market. Let's do a little goblin market. It's one of my favorites. We're not going to read the whole thing, of course. We good? Anybody else want to hit me? I was joking! Are we good? Yeah, chat stinks. Chat stinks. It's true. I can tell. You all smell. All right, we're going to read. Let's do 2 stanzas of the Goblin Market, okay? So here we go. In Southern, really? All right, fine, I can do that. Morning and evening, maids heard the goblins cry. Come buy our orchard fruits, come buy, come buy. Apples and quinces, lemons and oranges, plumped unpecked cherries, melons and raspberries, bloomed down cheeked peaches, swart head and mulberries, wild freeborn cranberries, crab apples, dewberries, pineapples, blackberries, apricots, strawberries, all ripe together in the summer weather. Morns that pass by, fair eves that fly, come by, come by. Our grapes fresh from the vine, pomegranates full and fine, dates and sharp boluses, rare pears and green gages, damsons, bilberries, taste them and try them, currants and gooseberries, bright fire like barberries, figs to fill your mouth, citrons from the south, sweet to the tongue and sound to the eye. Come by, come by. Evening by, among the brookside rushes, Laura bowed her head to hear Lizzie's veiled her blushes, crouching close together in the coolin' weather, with clasping arms and cautioning lips, with tingling cheeks and fingertips. I lost my space. 1 second here. Lie close, Laura said, pricking up her golden head. We must not look at goblin men. We must not buy their fruits. Who knows upon what soil they fed their hungry, thirsty roots? Come by, called the goblins, hobbling down the glen. Oh, cried Lizzie, Laura, Laura, you should not peep at goblin men. How dare you? Lizzie covered up her eyes, covered close lest they should look. Laura reared her glossy head and whispered like the restless brook. Look, Lizzie, down the glen tramp little men. One hauls a basket, one bears a plate, one lugs a golden dish, and of many pounds weight. How fair the vine must grow, whose grapes are so luscious. How warm the winds must blow through those fruit bushes. No, said Lizzie, no, no, no. Their offers should not charm us. Their evil gifts would harm us. She thrust a dimpled finger in each ear, shut eyes and ran. Curious Laura chose to linger, wondering at each merchant man. One had a cat's face, one whisked a tail, one tramped at a rat's pace, one crawled like a snail, one like a wombat's prowled up to send fury, one like a rattle tumbled hurry scurry. She heard a voice like voices of doves, cooing all together. They sounded like kind and full of love in the pleasant weather. And there you go. There is the start of that one. Good poem. I'm pretty sure it's a metaphor for lesbians, but I'm not 100% sure. I might be wrong. But yeah. Yo. I think so. I might be wrong, but the poem continues on with one girl eating the fruit of the goblins and like rapidly aging and almost dying and only wanting to eat the fruit. And then the sister, quote unquote, goes and gets the fruit, but avoids all the male goblins, and refuses to eat of that fruit, and instead gives it to her sister. And when she gives it to the sister, they come back in full and healthy and lively, and things are suddenly better. So who knows? But then again, I might be reading into it just because I like lesbians. Also, as the Redeem requested, women are why you're bi. You know what? Checks out. It's going to be very hard to be bi otherwise. I'm no longer moist mammy, but it's still me. Don't forget me. Wait, what? Did you just change your name? Did you just change your name? I'm so confused. My brain. To be fair, you did actually read it. What do you mean? Wait, Steph, what do you mean? What did I actually read? I'm so confused. My husband jokes all the time that he was lucky enough to pull a lesbian. But like women. Vibes. Oh, yeah. True. See, Steph's smart. Steph is smart. And Steph, I have scripts I wrote for you. Let me send them to you later. Just remind me. Okay. Ow. What is with me starting something and people immediately wanting to hit me? All right, let's swap scenes. Do. No, coloration's not working right. There it is. Crime scene cleaner. You have one of those faces? Ow! One of those faces that says hit me? This is why I keep turning this off in the evenings or the mornings. I feel like it fits. Oh, I love that! I need a jailed emote. I need to get a jailed emote. That'd be so great. All right, we're going to turn the volume up at the game because it's been super quiet lately for our morning streams. Settings. Sound. Just going to turn it all up to like, what, 50 maybe? All right. And lastly, game capture. Are we ready? Game's still a little quiet, isn't it? Game good for everybody? Your replies aren't working again. Oh no. No, I'm sorry you missed the morning ones. Hey. I said it was a joke. I told you all that I'm not actually letting you free, right? You can't blame me that. You're a parasite. It's a good thing to call him. Also, I made a cute post today. You cannot be upset at me. I made a cute post. I made a whole post that was all heartfelt and adorable and sweet. So, no. Wait, you're getting books? Okay, Boku is exclusively allowed to leave. Yeah, did you not see the cute post? Steph, you don't follow me on TikTok. I noticed that, by the way. You don't follow me on TikTok. How dare you? And you're a friend. Mm-hmm. All right. We got all the bodies. Okay, well, I also posted it on Instagram. Who uses Instagram? Me, but I don't like Instagram. What is this? Microfiber mop. What? Oh! It cleans so good. It's so good. Sorry, I got excited. That's fair. You don't have to use TikTok. Do microfiber? Wait, do they actually work like this? Has anybody ever had a Has anybody ever had it? They do work like this? They clean this good? Really? Well, yeah, but you're not supposed to put it on your teeth. Jeez, that's weird. Why would you put it on your teeth? Don't put things on your teeth, chat. Yeah, I never accused anybody. I never accused myself of being smart. Where's my bucket? There's my bucket. Hello, bucket. I missed you. It's a squeaky fabric. Why is your fabric squeaking? I lost the other bucket. Where's my bucket? No, that's not a bucket. All right, we're gonna do this. There's the bucket. Okay. I miss you all so much. I genuinely, I think about streaming all day. Every day I'm at work. Every day I'm at work, all I think about is streaming, of how much I would rather be streaming. So yes, I think about all of you all the time. More than I should. Okay, let's see what detergents we have. So, okay, we want detergent that increases the washing surface area. We need that for our starter. We'll use that for all the mopping, and then I want it to last a while too. So we'll do tools get stained. There we go. That's a good starter. All right.
Purification complete.
No, I refuse to not wipe. I will wipe. Wow. Does somebody else want to chat for me? Hey, let's see. Macaroni, you're chatting for me now. Tell me all the things I'm supposed to be saying. Okay, go. I'm ready. Ow! That's so much. We're waiting.
Standby mode activated.
All right, that's one word. You have. I need at least a few more words for a sentence, though, Macaroni. You got this. I came here to watch. Hello, Harlequin. Describe what you're cleaning? Okay. All right, so right now I'm going to go clean the gross toilet. Honestly, it is nasty. I feel bad for this man. Look how he covered my mop so quickly. Never mind, I don't feel bad for this man anymore. So awful.
Back to the roots with good old toilet cleaning.
There we go. That's so much better. You know, I think I'm just going to focus on the floors first, and then we'll come back and do everything else. Because I don't want to walk around in the blood. There we go. Found by getting trapped? Oh! Well, good. I'm glad. You should be trapped. How dare you take so long to get here, then? No. No, you don't tell me that you got trapped in my jail on TikTok. And how long ago did you see that video, huh? Was that today? Was it your first time seeing it? Actually, how many people have seen my TikTok before today and are only here for the first time? I stream every single day. You have no excuse. Where have you been? Where have you been? Explain yourself. You've been streaming yourself? How dare you? How dare you? I'll allow it this time. Steph, you have an excuse. You narrate. You're too eepies to watch. Plus, I come watch you. Something tells me I'm lonely. I am lonely. Oh, I am a depressing boy. I have an idea. My idea isn't working. Okay, wait. Yeah. It's not working. Okay. Better idea. Don't tell me what? Cooking and stuff? That's fair. Do I... I'm getting rid of this one. All right, here we go. All right, is this really what you wanted? This is the voice. I don't know how you like this one. We have a minute here, so I'm going to be watching this. Inky Lynn, thank you so much for the check-in. Something about this voice apparently people like. It's not a femboy. There's no... What is femme about this voice? It's just whiny.
Will be ready.
Effective at what? You want me to replace it with Deku? What is so femboy about this voice? There's nothing femboy about it. Just a normal voice. Don't make me start talking about Kachan.
I don't think that Big Jim is on the menu anymore. Boys.
Oh, it's so bloody. It's all so bloody. Why does it fill up my mop so quickly? I put everything...
Remove up to 99% of harmful particles from the air.
Alright, we're gonna try to collect this, but it won't let me collect it, so I'm gonna have to pull out the big guns here. Where'd my big guns go? There's my big gun. So much better now. And we are done. Oh, thank God. I'm so glad I made that a short one. This would have been the absolute worst if it was a long voice.
There was no need for so many tables anyway.
I mean, I would have gone insane. If that had been a long voice... No. And I hope you know one day I'm just going to replace it with a Deku voice. I will try to do my best Deku. You regret the redeem somewhat? You should. I regret it. If only I didn't gamble. This is what happens when you gamble. Remember, chat, this is what happens if you gamble too much. People will take advantage of it. And then you'll have to do stupid things.
Need to empty the trash can first.
Okay, yeah, we'll put all the trash right here. There we go. You gamble on horse girls? Ooh. Someone come cuddle my dog. The roofers are scaring her, and she almost killed you. What are you... don't die to your dog.
Throw it away.
Please. Okay, you need this one? There. Y'all happy with this one? My cat loves watching your streams with me. Honestly, I think that's one of the greatest compliments I've ever received. You know what? I want to see that. I want to see people with pictures of their pets watching me. You do not have to be in the picture if you do not want. I just want your pet, really. And then can you tell your cat I said
Wow, 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 wow.
There you go. Oh yeah, definitely, you definitely could. Feel free to draw me. Draw me in any way that you'd like. Almost any way you like. I prefer to stay out of fetish art, thank you. 2 minutes? Okay, we still got a couple minutes here.
Time for a bag swap.
I'll definitely have to check it out. Chain like a horse. Redeem. I'm not adding the meow redeem. We ain't adding the meow redeem, alright? I got standards. I ain't a cat, so I ain't gonna meow.
Harmful particles from the air.
Nah, we ain't doing it. Not unless y'all want to trade it for a different redeem. I'll get rid of the whiny voice. Wait, where did the thing go? Where are you, sweetie? There you are.
It's time to meow.
I'm just lucky, all right? And my name's Gene.
Initializing process of purification.
Well, I'm not Da, am I? I'm not a shark. You want to meow, you go to Da. Da will meow for you. Oh, did the TTS not work? My bad. Give me a second. I didn't hear it. Wait, did we run out of TTSs again? We might have run out of TTSs. Give me a second while I take a look. Oh, no, TTS is just muted. My bad. TTS is back and working. Yeah, could I draw your model with the colors of Gyu Tomika from Demon Slayer? I said, yeah, that's totally fine. And now we can drop this voice, and we go back to the ooh. It's okay, Neeks. I appreciate it. Oh, TTS was disabled on this screen particularly, on accident. Wait, where's my... There it is. All right. I had to clean it. What did Reckon do? Meow redeem? No, I would rather do a meow because I can at least do a convincing meow. I hate ads, me too. Good bunny. Vibes. All right. We're cleaning up in here. Yeah. Meow is greater than ooh. Maybe, okay? Hypothetically. I do still need to figure out how to stream on TikTok, by the way. That will be happening soon. Specifically because... Okay, can somebody explain to me why some people can't get on Twitch? I don't know if it's like maybe a country thing, or like if there's a reason people get banned from like being on Twitch. I do not stream on TikTok. I can't get it set up right. They don't have... Yeah, but like make a Twitch account then. We need to talk. What did I do? What did I do? Bye. Why do we have to talk? I do give amazing hugs. Wait, do you know how to give good hugs, chat? Ah, wait, this is important. Do y'all know how to give proper hugs? There's three kind of hugs. Okay? And it depends on where you place your arms. There's one that you should almost never do if you're taller. And there's the two other. You have your equal footing hugs. And that is one arm low, one arm high. One arm going over the shoulder, the other one going around the side. This will pull a person into you at an even level to you. So if you're taller, it will pull them up. And it'll make sure that you kind of stay on an equal footing. If you want somebody to feel really like cared for and loved, you put both your arms under, like around their stomach, and you pull up. Because that'll make them come up to you, or closer, especially if you're taller. And will make them feel more like you're embracing them versus just a normal hug. And then, top hug. If you're shorter, it works perfect. You wrap your arms around them and you can be more dainty. Or if you're tall, you'll smother them. So, do not do a top hug if you're taller. Always go low. Like me. I'm just as tall as the rest of you. 6'4". Bear hug. You go under, you lift, and you pick them off the ground. And Dara's still taller than me. Yeah. Steph, I do not believe that. If you want to be smothered, you want to get pulled into a bear hug. You don't want somebody to, like, overwhelm you because there's not enough body contact to make the hug really nice. You want them to go fully under and lift. Instead of, like, just kind of overlapping you. Bo, who's 7. Oh my god, I would love a guy named Bo, who's 7. 7 foot. 7 foot. 7 foot.
If I didn't know any better, I'd think some tomato sauce had got
Ow,
stuck on this
fair.
pan.
I'm so used to, you know, saying like, ah! Why was there so many bikes in that one? It didn't make a mess. I wanted to make a mess. That's Swiss cheese. Why are they putting Swiss cheese on pizza? Can't play this game anymore, chat. But yeah, so now you know how to hug properly. Congratulations. And you know why I teach this like it's a lesson? Because I was taught how to hug. I was taught how to hug when I was like starting to be interested in, well, I was going to say the opposite sex, but you know, in people. My dad was like, okay, now that you're starting to date people, you need to learn how to hug properly. Never taught me how to shave, but you know, taught me how to hug. The things that really matter. Can we lock him out again? You're not allowed to lock me out again, no.
With a full bag.
Who needs to shave? I prefer not to be like bearded. I like the most I have usually is like a short, stubbly kind of look. Because then it adds features to your face without being an overwhelming presence. Plus, it's also like I'm really lazy and I don't want to spend more time with it. Anyways, shaving scares you? Do you need help? I mean, you know, there's like, you can do like a sugar scrub, right? I mean, like if you're talking legs and potentially face, if you want something smooth, you can do like a sugar scrub and stuff. Like there's a lot of other methods besides just normal shaving. Yeah. Give me a second. Let me explain this better. I guess it's like sugar wax. Basically, you put it on your body, and like it just kind of like sticks to it, and you pull it off quickly, and it removes the hair gently and really quickly. You just. It's very simple, very quick, and it's genuinely like not bad. Can you eat it? I mean, it's full of your hair, so maybe not. It's up to you personally, honestly, but I would suggest not consuming hair. Yeah? Oh, you should have been when I used to have the clicker. Harlequin, I swear I know you. When I've seen you before. Or then maybe I've just seen Jester-themed things, and I'm thinking it's you. In which case, I am sorry. Welcome. Oh, how dare you be late? How dare you? Where were you? No, what excuse do you have? Give me an excuse. Give me a good excuse. Give me any reason why I should be like, yeah, no, that's fine. Come on. I'm waiting. What you got for me? No, Allie, why were you late? Where's your excuses? Give them to me. I need excuses. Do you have at least a signed pass? Did you get a signed hall pass? I'm not getting a clicker again. The clicker got weird quick.
Hello everybody, it's me, Professor Gene, and today on my lesson we will be talking about why you should watch more of me. Reason number 1. Please. Reason number 2. Pretty please.
Did it work? Vanya, I won't be mean to to late people. I can't believe you follow other VTubers. You follow other VTubers?
Reasons why you should watch Gene, balls in your jaw.
What? It is fair. You know, keeping you on my basement has been very effective. And that's how I've been getting them clicks and them likes and them... What? And I... Misty. Do you remember Dar's game? Do you remember us playing Dar's game? You remember Dar's game? Yeah. Did you know it did not click in my head that you were the same Misty for the first time that you came to my stream? And I was like, oh, Misty! I just wanted to let you know that the first time you came into my stream, it did not click into me that you were that Misty. Oh, speaking of, hey, can we get a shout out for Darard? The lovely Dar. They're running a Jeopardy show. If you're a VTuber or a content creator, and you are interested in being on a Jeopardy-style show, Dar runs one about, I think it's twice a month or once every 2 weeks. You should go follow them. Go check out their Twitter. You can sign up. He picks people at random, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I did the game show. Great. I didn't win. But also, if you do play and you win, it is, I think, like a $100 prize right now. I said I'd do it for free for the love of the game, but they are offering a prize. It's a great thing. But I definitely suggest going by. Smash Bros. Your life. Oh, and the final question so far has always been, guess the VTuber feat. And he gets permission from all the people that he gets VTuber feet from. So far, he's gotten from Cottontail and Cha-Cha, which is just crazy to me. Imagine going to a big VTuber and being like, hey, can I get a picture of your feet? And not for any weird purposes. I just want to use it on my game show.
This glass is intact after all this action.
Aww. I wanted it to break. Yeah, exactly. I don't have any toes on my model. Yeah, not a joke. Not a joke. Cha-Cha was on there. Hello, Zyla. Cha-Cha's feet were on there, and Cottontail's feet were on there, and both of them, like, in DMs agreed to allow him to use feet. And I've talked to one other big VTuber, and I got their feet for Dar. Have you had Cottontail's G-Subs? I have not. Remember, chat, we don't have a G-Subs link yet, but when I do get one, come use it. G-Subs is the only energy drink powder that I'll swear by, and I will not sign up for any other one. Zeko, I can't believe you. What's your excuse? Did I just squish this on the... Why did I do that? Oh. Yeah, that's fair. What's up, Vanya? Well, if people are going to apologize for being late, I'm going to make them give me a reason. If you own being late, I won't make you give me a reason. But if you... Why is there pizza on the wall? But if you come in and apologize, I need a reason. There we go. Not allowed. Made paper ring and used it in purpose of my friends, as she said. Oh, nice. You're sorry you're on time? Wow. I own my tardiness when I am. That's fair. It's always good to own when you're tardy. Which feels wrong to say, but it isn't wrong. I need to get a better flashlight. Fell in a hole and had to entertain a rat king? You had to entertain a swarm of rats? I was late. I was late. I have a good reason, though. I was laying in bed. Oh, you can't ask me that. Not because it's offensive, but it will take me... Do we want to just talk about food for the next, like, 30 minutes? Traditionally, I would say that one of my favorite dishes is masaman, but masaman is very difficult to get right, at least in my view. Not that it's a hard dish to make, but that no place seems to ever get it right. Masaman is a peanut curry dish. It's almost a soup. You have 2 bowls, which is so stupid. It is so stupid, but it's so amazing. So you have 1 bowl of rice, and you have 1 bowl of the masaman soup kind of curry. Like, it's a very liquidy curry. And so you take the spoon of masaman, you pour it on the rice, and then you scoop up the rice and the masaman and eat it. And so it's a slightly spicy peanut curry. Carrots, potatoes, onions, often chicken, little chunks of peanuts in it as well. Very tasty. I love it. And then it's plain white rice, and it's a Thai curry. And so the best thing to have with it, of course, is a Thai tea. Which I tried to once say as Thai chai tea, but that was just saying a tea twice. And I just feel like half of that wasn't necessary. I could have just said a chai tea. Or I could have said chai. I could have said just chai. Chai with milk. And it would have been the same thing. Hello, Shadow Emo Weirdo. I was going to sing Michael Grant, but we're not going to do that. But I want to talk about... And it's not a chai latte. I want to talk about... the food post. Y'all remember the food post I did where I'm like, hey, I'm taking orders? People said chicken nuggets and specifically McDonald's so often that there was like over 30 comments of it. It was so often that TikTok said, hey, here's your most engaged term. And it was chicken nuggets. Everybody's order for being kidnapped in a person's basement is McDonald's or chicken nuggets. Really? Like, you've been given the opportunity to order anything, and everybody's just, yeah, no, I gotta go with my autism chow, my nuggies. Some people had some cool food. Some people were like, I want a crab boil, or like a seafood broil. 2 people actually wanted a seafood broil, which was interesting. Oh. I'll bring this up again. The Discord authentication reason is changing on the weekend. We will be using Discord's age verification instead of a third party. So do not worry about that. As of Saturday, we will be changing the way the age verification works. It is an 18-plus server, mostly because, guess what? I'm above 18. I have a voice that makes people want to flirt with me, and I would not like a child coming in going, can you call me Daddy? Or can I call you Daddy? Because that's happened before, so... yeah. We will be changing into... we will be doing Discord's age verification soon. So, yeah. It'll be fine. You still want Dino Nuggies? I have Dino Nuggies. I bought Dino Nuggies specifically for this, and I made a picture, which I haven't uploaded yet, to post as one of the foods for the jail cell. That is Dino Nuggies and mac and cheese. Oh, yeah, bet we can do pronouns again. I don't have the pronoun ready anymore. But chat, would you like to list your pronouns? Chat, what are your pronouns? Tell me about your pronouns. I go by he, they. Mac and cheese, of course. Spiral mac and cheese. She, her. Nice, nice, nice.
I can remove up to 99% of harmful particles from the air.
How do we find out if our age is in Discord? Oh, your age is not in Discord. Unless you've posted it somewhere. She, they. Nice, nice, nice. Bad choices. Fair. He, they. That's good. Thank you for the follow, Queen. Queen Cinnabunny. But yeah, for those of you asking, this is a crime scene cleaner. We're just watching crime scenes. She, her, hangry, fight me. Valid, valid, valid. But yeah, so Discord tracks its own age verification. Like if you've put in your birth date, because you had to put in your birth date to make the account, it is there. But like, I will not ever see the birth date. Oh yeah, your rock husband. No, I haven't seen him. The only issue that you'll possibly have is if you're in one of those countries that has the weird age laws, in which case Discord is required to do an age verification through the normal methods, but it will not touch me. No, you'll be fine if you've already verified. But if you are only on iPhone, you do have to turn on a button that's just like a toggle. It's like a thing for desktops. I'll post a link for it later. Yeah, it's best to do it on your computer. Is it still just chatting? No, I set it to crime scene cleaner. Might be. I mean, we are pretty much just chatting, so valid, but also not what I wanted. Green and blue. All right, where were we? I could go for a pizza. I can make pizza. Gotcha. I also might have hit, like, done again, so I might be gaslighting people. Not intentionally. Anytime anybody mentions it at all, I always go back and double hit the done button. So, it may have said something different a few seconds ago. I would consider doing a cooking stream, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. I have not done a hand reveal. I will do a hand reveal eventually. But I will be doing a cooking stream as a potential unlock when we do the fundraiser. Thank you for the follow, Nix. How you doing? Oh, God. Do we have to do the nerd voice? Did I get the nerd voice? Is that what it is? All right, fine. I'll do the stupid nerd voice. I don't know why you call him Alan. But yes, we're going to be doing a fundraiser for a new model. We're going to be doing a fundraiser for... Oh, I guess we can wait. We'll wait until the ad's over, okay? Ad break ended. Oh, welcome back. So. We will be doing a fundraiser for a new model because this is a pre-made model, meaning that I cannot use it for merchandise. Ah, don't hit me. And, yes, so, what was I saying? I got distracted immediately. So one of the things to unlock with the fundraiser is going to be a cooking stream. Yes, it's my real voice. This is my super real. Did you know somebody thought this was my real voice? More than one person was like, is that actually your real voice? No, nobody talks like this. Nobody talks like this. I've never heard a single real person sound like this. It's insane. Hi, miss. Do we have here? Hello. Whoever said hello. Hello, Nix. And is the real voice? Don't you be cackling. It's illegal. Illegal. You're too alpha. I'm sorry I'm so alpha, okay? Like, guys, I'm just super alpha. I got... What did I get when we played that game? A soft alpha? Yeah, we did the alpha thingy, what's that called? What's the one called with the furries? Omega test. Yeah, we did the Omegaverse test, and I got a soft alpha. So clearly, this is what this voice is. Yes, but they don't, like, you can lower the voice if you have a lisp. You don't have to talk this high-pitched and this more aggressive. There we go. He sounds like a Discord mod? Ooh. No, that's more like a... I'm not even gonna do it. There it is. All right, how long do we have on this? Okay, we have literally 1 minute left. Yes. And then we put this here. I feel like we're missing something here. Ah, there it is. This looks so nice. I love cleaning. I don't like cleaning at all, but I love playing this game. Swing from the Buddha? Okay, give me a second. And we're back. All right. And the test only spoke truth. It is. It's true. It's true. I'm not a cat. I'm not a cat. No, I am not a cat. I am not a cat. Out of everything I could possibly be, a cat is most definitely not. Ow. Thank you for the follow, Golden Boxing. Welcome. I got Submissive Omega most of chat. Yeah. It is kind of embarrassing that so many of you got Submissive Omega. Like, I wouldn't have admitted to that personally, but you know, you do you, Boo. You do you. I mean, if we're gonna go with what are my features, they're a dog, but I'm not a dog. I'm a man. A big, strong man. You got beta? I knew it. Bunch of betas. You beta cuck. Sorry. All right, here we go. God, we have a lot of mods here today. Where are you all normally? Whiny voice. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. No, I want you all. I want all my mods to be here. My mods are just so important and special to me, and I'm so glad to always have you. You make this stream so much better. And without you, I don't know what I'd do, honestly. Hey, Gene, do you think we could decorate the basement? There are so many people who asked if they wanted to decorate the basement, and they're like, can I decorate the basement? And what is with all of you wanting to decorate? Thank you for the follow, lady. I promise I don't normally sound like this. But why do so many of you want to decorate the basement? Yeah, you can. I'll allow you to decorate the basement. You just all have to decide together how you're going to decorate it, okay? It's boring down here. What do you mean it's boring? You get to watch the greatest streamer, LuckyJene. Like, clearly, you should be enjoying your time here, right? Spooky Day's coming up. It is. Are plushies involved? They can be. Gene supremacy? Exactly. Exactly. It's not like I'm gonna get a big head or anything. Baka. Alright, I'm back. Snacks? Of course we can do snacks. I don't know. It hurt me to say it. I regret it immensely. I joined at an interesting time. Welcome to my life. It's always an interesting time. And okay, we're done with that one. All right, no more voice redeems, right? We haven't had anything else come in. Oh, what I have to clean in here. It's an important test. You need to clearly do well on it. I gotta go. The plot was ruined. Not this one again. Why am I allowing this one to be redeemed so often? Okay, somebody remind me to change the times on these redeems because they're too close together. Hey, can I pick this one up? Why can't I pick this up? There we go. I think that's fine. No sacrificing nap time. We need nap time. They're super cool. It's very important. Very important to keep them. All right, down we go. By the way, we might be doing a costume contest for Halloween. So if you've not done a Halloween costume yet, you should do one now. Take a picture. And you can, of course, you can block out your face. I would suggest doing that, personally. And then, yeah. That's it. That's how Halloween costume contest really worked. Okay, how much time do we have left on this one? Just one more minute. I got this. I can keep up. 3, 9, 6, and there it is.
Easy peasy.
What did you do? Look at all the pineapples. Why is there so many pineapples? What a weird place. Ooh, money. I'll take that, and I'll take that, and I'll take that. Some more fancy stuff. There it is. There it is. Take some more money. Ooh, a guitar. At the base. Wait, at the base. Anyways. You love the nerdy voice? Why do you like the nerdy voice? Chat, can you believe that I've only been in one video game, and it was an indie game? I mean, it's a cool indie game, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity. But I've only been in one game. Wait, we have new people here. Would y'all be interested in hearing my voice acting demo? Would you all be interested in hearing my voice acting demo, my voice reel? Okay, here, we'll play this while I figure this out. Nope, wrong button. I don't think I'm gonna make it. My legs hurt. Even my brain hurts.
Reversing the polarity will cause a cataclysmic reaction of... turn the dials right. Make the device go boom!
I thought I'd left you dead in the desert.
I mean, haunted by ghosts, ain't I? I guess I deserve it.
Good evening, fellow Mad Cats. DJ Fang is ready to spin more records. Coming up next, 12 commercials back to back. My favorite.
You made it! I didn't think you'd come. No one else has. Still, you seriously made my day. We are not taking any more party members. Wait, are you wearing a dead possum as a scarf?
Nah, she ain't dead. She's just scared. The poor sweetie pie.
Please, take a seat. Right here, by my side.
Where you can't get away so easily.
I am Nerd. Hear me roar. I can't really roar that well, but I'm trying, okay? Well, that's what the last guy thought. And you don't want to know what happened to him.
Do not be blinded by fear, my child. Embrace it. Welcome it. Let it pass. Remember, only you shall remain in the end.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. Thank you. So, I just posted a link to Square Cut's Red Chaos. It is a game that I am in. I play the drone, which I think I might actually have this here. Give me a second. Who's that one in the... Oh, nope, that's the ASMR RP. We're not going to play that one. That's a different thing. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. I can show you all the game that I'm in. And I play... it's not all of the voices I do, but I play 3 of the... vehicles. That's what I'm looking for. You ready? Boop. Oh, I didn't mean to stretch that. Oh, no, that's not working. All right.
I'm as silent as a flying owl. I stay tuned to the incoming signal. Moving there now. My remote control has enormous range.
That's me. That's also me.
The faster we advance. Everything belongs to the Iron Hand. Absolutely everything.
Those are me. Yay! But yes, just a little roll. Yee. Wait, Night Blossom, you've heard the demo before, right? Are you just hyping me up, or have you not heard it before? I know, look at me being a real voice actor. And can you believe I got kicked out of a voice acting competition because I submitted my audio in stereo and not mono? No, I've done a few attempts on I've done a few attempts on the singing one, but I haven't gotten it right yet. Oh, well, I'm glad. Boyfriend to death, frostbite, your boyfriend? What is that? Oh, I'm doing 2 covers. I'm doing the Phantom of the Opera with a friend of mine who is a very talented opera singer. So that's intimidating. And I'm doing Oogie Boogie, which I just need to record myself, but I took a while to find a mixer, and I finally found a mixer, so now I can actually do the recording. It's just almost out of my range. It's slightly higher. And Lala is an insane, insane singer. It is insane. Thank you for the follow. Hey, Ghastly, what's up? Sing once again with me. Oh, dun, dun, dun. Have a great stream. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will most definitely try. An amazing cosplayer. I mean, damn. Girl knows how to...
Found you.
Impressive person. What did I find? There you are. Yeah, she's been really busy. Yeah, it's right on the upper range of tenor, and that's where I struggle. It's like playing Dexter Morgan Simulator. Yeah, it's just the cleaning part, though, and I love this. Ah, it's so nice. So chill. Are we lagging? No, we're good, right? Nothing's lagging? Am I crazy? It's fair if I am crazy. We good? Okay. Brain just kind of shut off for a second. Tonight's the night my OCD is kicking in. Thank you for the follow, VM Pickle Bean. And everybody, welcome to the menagerie, my lovely voidlings. Speaking of voidlings, most of you haven't seen the voidlings because there's a lot of new people today, and we're not going to see them tonight, but I hope you all know that when we do the fundraiser for the new model, we will be showing off the design document for the voidlings. We'll be showing the design document for the new model and a whole bunch of other little features. So, get excited for that. Because that's going to be expensive. Ah! Why'd you break the PS2? Don't you dare break the PS2. The voidlings are so cute. Okay, what if I show them off for like 1 second? Is Aiko here? Have fun. Colorota? I don't know what that is.
There's nothing to do here.
Oh, jeez. I forgot you were here. Hello, robot.
Hello there.
Senpai.
Greetings.
That one will work. Allie's also an amazing artist. We have so many good artists in this community. All right, we're gonna do... Where is it? I have a light here somewhere. There it is. Okay. Do I have any more lights? I have to go pick it up. Wait, me as candy corn? I got drawn as candy corn? Okay. I don't think I've ever been candy corn before. You both are talented. I like both of the works you guys do. I have Google. What are you Googling? Everything's good in here, right? I ain't crazy. Crazy like a fox. Yeah, everything's good in this room. It's the other room that must have some issue. It must be this room. Ooh, treasure. Oh, you're talking about vocal things. I have no clue what that means, but I know it is a thing. All right, so I need to find that chair. Wait. Where's the chair? Chad, if you were a chair, where would you be? It's this chair. Nope, that's supposed to be there. Bye-bye. Upside down, under 3 guy. Neeks. No, dare you. Your yearly drawing of your best friend and why is that a yearly occurrence for you? Explain this to me. Why is that a normal occurrence for you? How does that become a yearly occurrence? Is it their birthday? Is that what happens? Their birthday comes around and you're like, yes, yes. It's make dress time. That's such a weird thing to become a regular thing for you. Okay, there's my step ladder. I never knew my real ladder. Where's the chair? Oh, here it is. Why are you out here? There we go. Of course, yes. He hates, loves it. Valid, valid. All right, we are.
I am the victor.
Brain shut off. There's no brain anymore. I will no longer talk. I'm just going to grumble. Be prepared. I'm missing something. What am I missing? Right, statuettes. Okay, we gotta find the statuettes. If I was a statuette, where would I be? Ooh, money. Who are you proposing to? If I was a statue, where would I be? I don't know. Oh, statue! Yay! Oh, because of the grumbles? You have to have higher standards than grumbles. I'm sorry. It's legal requirement. Can I... I can't say that. I can't say that. Porque me gusta. There's so many things that my brain just goes, you should say this thing.
Bingo.
But then I don't, because I am a good boy. I am a good boy, and you can't prove otherwise. Okay. There is... What time is it? Oh, heck, it's already been an hour. Can y'all believe it's been an hour already? Yeah. I thought you said already, like, yeah, of course it's already. Jeez, what do you think? You think you're that entertaining that I didn't realize an hour has passed? You still haven't gotten breakfast? Go get yourself breakfast. Get yourself some breakfast. Okay. Sorry, I'm putting words in your mouth. Well, you know, eat breakfast. Food is good for you. I'm going crazy. Where is this stupid thing? I need one. One ball. I need a ball, chat. Give me your ball. Where are the balls? Where? Ooh, money. Arf, arf. Arf, arf. I'm such a cute little puppy. There you go. I need balls. I just need one ball. I don't need multiple balls. I need the one. Okay? Yes, I... Steph, don't say that about yourself. You're most definitely not a stupid thing. Somebody ate the ball. Don't eat the ball. I only needed one. Why do you have a... Wait. Is that juggling ball? Is that juggling ball? What is it called? Man, it used to be so big in like early 2000. Hello, Ellie. Thank you, and welcome to the Menagerie. The Menagerie. I need to be able to say that properly if I'm going to name my community the Menagerie. My lovely voidlings in the Menagerie. Globe. Well, there's that cup broken. There it is. What the heck are you doing back here? All right. No, like Fagoshi or something like that. It's a specifically a juggling ball that was like a glass ball that you're supposed to like slide along your hands and arms and stuff, and it's difficult to do, but it always looked magic. And I think they got sued. Fushigi. I think they got sued. For like, I think they implied like that anybody could do it instantly or something. Or that like it float around. I mean, like you can juggle with it, and some people are really, really good with the glass juggling ball, but like it didn't just trace your hand. You had to, practice with it. Thank you for the follow, Itzel-chan. How you doing? Welcome. Oh, God, John. Sorry. You know what wolf you are. What kind of wolf are you? The moon sand. What is moon sand? Zoo pals? What are we talking about? I feel like I got left behind. Oh, I did not have zoo pals. The plate. Yes, we're good. I'm back. I felt left out, okay? Y'all were having fun without me. It's not fair. Y'all were having fun without me. Never know what's going on. Valid. Oink, oink, zoo pals. Zoo pals. Zoo pals. Zoo pals make eating fun. Thank you for the follow. Maddie. And welcome to the Menagerie. You're just a little bun in her own world. Fair enough. Good vibes. Good vibes to be. Good thing to be. There is so much. You're not having fun at work? Quit your job. Don't quit your job. Don't listen to me. I'm not a good influence. I think I left my squirt gun. Enjoy your legs. Sometimes you are a needy beta wolf, and that's okay. You're allowed to be a needy beta wolf. Don't let anybody ever tell you being a needy beta wolf is wrong. It is okay to be a needy beta wolf. All right? Embrace who you truly are. Yes, the kinetic sand. I do remember that one. You're a soft alpha? That one's a lie. But everyone else is telling the truth. Look, somebody had to lie. It had to be Allie. That's okay. Oof, that's rough, buddy. Yeah, well, my girlfriend's the moon. This is fun. This is fun. I like this painting. Thank you. I'm so glad somebody got it. This painting would be so ruined, by the way. Unless it's like a print. They just love a soaking wet picture. God, I love my pictures soaking wet. That felt weird. I take that back. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Oh man, I loved Yu-Gi-Oh! Y'all want to hear my greatest childhood tragedy? I played Yu-Gi-Oh! End of story. No, I played Yu-Gi-Oh! And I had a lot, like, I only got packs. So not only did I have Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards that were, like, good Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, I had, like, all the cool ones from the anime. And I brought them to school one day to show them off, and people were so excited about my cards, and I put them in my pants pocket. And I went home, and then my mom picked up my pants and threw them in the wash. And she washed my pants. You might notice something happened there. Every one of those cards no longer had corners, and they all fused together. They would be worth something because they were first editions from packs. I didn't even realize what I had. But, yeah. That was back in the day when people refused to play with you if you used starter deck cards, and now even the starter deck cards are expensive. Yep. Exactly. Cards are hardly new to you. The thing is, I had them for so long, and nothing ever happened to them. And the one day I take them to school, I bring them home and they get washed. Ooh, I gotta rob a dead old lady. Yay! Yay! Robbing old ladies is so much fun. I mean, what? Where is it? Ah. Where is it? Is that it? No, 96. There's more blood here. Where's the blood? If it counts this... Oh, it does. There it is. You had a Tamagotchi taken away, you never got it back? That's the worst. That Tamagotchi's dead. That Tamagotchi is starved and has died sad and alone. Why am I doing this? There was no reason I had to make this dark. I'm sorry. Ripperonis. Tamagotchi, we knew you well. What'd you name it? The teacher kept it alive. The teacher actually kept it alive and has been playing it ever since. They probably did a Reddit post that says, I stole this kid's Tamagotchi back in early 2000s, and now they'll never know the joy of having a Tamagotchi. Ask me anything. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole? I took a child's Tamagotchi and I've been playing with it since the early 2000s. But they probably would have forgotten to feed it, so honestly, aren't I the best? Just a layer of moist. Sometimes everything has to be a layer of moist, okay? Are we done? Oh no, are we done? Wait. Did I find secrets? I found a secret. There has to be more secrets, right? No, I found multiple secrets. Coke. Give me the Coke, give me the drugs. There it is. Hey, thank you for the follow, Depot. What's up, Depot? DuPont? DuPonella. Your name makes no sense to me. Explain. Also, hi. Welcome to Menagerie. They got a chicken? They were gonna have you bring home a... What? Ah! I mean, they said you can, not that you have to. And so... they're probably, like, hoping, you know... The suburban white kid... And then it's gonna get into one southern household and that chicken's not coming back. I thought you brought lunch. What do you mean you needed to keep this? He can imitate the chicks? What? Some kids raise the chicks, others imitate them and become the chicks. Congratulations. I guess we're done. I mean, look at all this dead bodies and trash. Nice. They're dead? They died? No! Ow! Thank you for the sub! Thank you for the sub, Keelan Kitten. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Mwah! Rip in peace, but thank you. I really do appreciate all y'all's subs, and they do help me very, very much. And did you know that if you have Amazon Prime, you can link your Prime to your Twitch, and that means you can get one free subscription to any streamer. That streamer should be me. And you get all my lovely emotes. I got soft alpha. I'm a soft alpha, chat. That's right, my little voidlings. Killing Kitten. Oh, hey, Hype Train. What the heck? What the heck? Hey, thank you for the bits. I really appreciate it. Thank you. You got Loner Alpha? Aww. Oh, you little loner. Submissive Omega. Yep. That checks out. Most of you are Submissive Omegas. I knew it. Okay. My brain is gone, chat. I have forgotten things. The Phantom of the Opera. Unlimited battery, that's what I wanted. Oh, there it is. Yes. Charm Kitten Ridge. Thank you so much for the follow. It's greatly appreciated. Welcome. Na. I don't think I actually want that one. Oh, we'll take it anyways. Apply that. Thank you for the follow, genuinely. Omegaverse test 100% real? Exactly. It is awful, though. It is so long. It is unbearably long. No. I'll accept this for now. Okay, there we go. Honestly, though, I mean, chat, Voidlings, y'all came to the stream because of a man's voice. What did you think you were? Besides daddy issues or mommy issues. Y'all got some sort of issues.
Perfect job. Not even a drop of ketchup left. So I've sent you
I'm sorry for calling you out.
Big Jim likes to appreciate his people. I also put in a good word for you in the underworld. Expect new customers.
Carmilla is surprisingly healthy, and that's worrying.
More customers or more psychos?
That's fair. Yeah, not all. Unfurls a list. Oh yeah, no. Carmilla, what'd you call that? Is that like a savior complex? Do we need to talk about that one?
It's open. Just come in.
Yay,
Hi, is
murder!
Mark back home already?
He should be in a few minutes. Do you want something to drink while waiting?
No thanks.
Bang, bang, bang.
Mom? What are those noises down there?
Mom, what are those noises down there?
Soup. Soup! Look at him upgrading his food. I also like that he's eating beefy. Beefy.
I need your services, man. Son of a bitch was having an affair with my wife. So I just offed him and his entire family. The problem is I didn't really think it through, so you'll need to get rid of the surveillance footage as well.
Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the menagerie. Hello, Frogina. Frogina. Frogwana. Frogwana! Frogwana! Hello, Frogwana. What's up? Welcome. Welcome to the menagerie.
Your nerd voice. I mean, if you really want me to do like a goblin, I can totally do like something like this one. Is this a little bit better? That's what you're wanting. I wanted to get your name right, and so I had to look in to see exactly what it was. But, anyways.
KKK Frogwana. Ow, don't bug me. Oh, hey, dog.
Don't
I love the dog.
Dexter. Ladies are
Making
more into
macaroni.
good boys.
All right, lovelies, I need to get... Fine, you can bonk me. Frogina. Frogiana. 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 I don't know. Your name is different. You're gonna have to walk me through it. Can I call you Frog? Frog. Ah! Violence. That's fair. That's fair. Okay, I'm gonna grab water real quick, lovelies. So, I'm gonna leave you here. Frogina. Frog works. I'm gonna grab some water. So I'm gonna leave you all with a game. Will you all behave yourself while I get water?
talking about my baby, baby. It's all for my baby, baby, baby. I'm just talking about my baby, baby. Hey, 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 hey. Now once upon a time, not long ago, there was a beautiful princess with a heart of gold. And I was just a little nerd on the side of the road. I didn't think I stood a chance till my confidence rose. When the clock struck 13, I met a nice woman that could rock my world. She liked to sip Moscato, but I called her Merlot. And we ain't really been apart since our past converged. Got me spending every minute thinking about her words. I got a message on my pager from the girl I adore. It said I'm staying in tonight, you should pull up for sure. So I hopped in my Taurus and I sped to her door. She opened up and said, wait, I gotta get you some more. She pulled me into the bedroom and ooh, it was incredible. We were so compatible. Then I got emotional, told her she my soulmate. Told me you should save it for a special occasion. It's crazy what this girl could do. I'm out here making different moves. She just make me feel brand new. Yeah, it's all for my baby, baby, baby. It's crazy what this girl could do. I'm out here making different moves. She just make me feel brand new. Yeah, it's all for my baby, 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 baby. Said I'm saving it for you. Once upon a time, not long ago, there was a handsome young prince with a heart of gold. And I was just a little lady on the side of the road. I didn't think I stood a chance till my confidence rose. When the clock struck 13, I met a nice man that could rock my world. He liked to sip tequila, but I called him Patron. And we ain't really been apart since our past converged. He got me spending every minute thinking about his words.
Hello, hello. It's not gonna be tits, Steph. Y'all got this, I believe in you. Ooh! So where can these little candy bags? I don't know if I was supposed to take one. Oh! What the heck is a coloring book inside of it? They gave a bunch of adults coloring books, chat. There's crayons! Wait a second, I'm gonna color. It's only a coloring page, not a book, but still, they gave me 4 crayons. They gave me gummy bears. They gave me peanut M&Ms, a Butterfingers, and an almond Joy. Honestly, I'm looking forward to the gummy bears. I'm a bit disappointed though, there's no Halloween colors, it's just red, blue, yellow, and green. And I know you can make Halloween colors from those, but like, come on. Alright. Got the little yellow here.
America lied to the 45th president of the United States. America lied to you, but see, this America ain't the way you think the land of milk.
These crayons suck. You're not trapped in the game. All you have to do is finish the game. I believe in you. GG. Disney. Proud of you. Did you miss me? I missed you. Not busy doing something in your bathroom? Get out of my bathroom! Makes you feel safe and comfy? Nightmare, 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 nightmare. Sorry. Ow. Why'd you set my bathroom on fire? I'm sorry if you don't like the sound of me chewing. I'll chew less loudly. I'm not eating crayons. Chat, why am I... What?
It'll be a long night.
What am I grabbing onto? What is happening here? What?
I don't know at which point it started to become mundane. But I do remember that, at that time, all I was thinking about was at least it wasn't me who was being put in a bag.
Headpads, thank you. People are kind here. They're lovely. Y'all are amazing. I got so lucky. Genuinely. I'm doing just the new levels, the normal levels. This is the first time I've actually played this game. I'm having a lot of fun though.
For the bodies.
Really? Oh, that's super cool, actually. Wait, has anybody followed me off of this game?
Holy fuck.
Like, is anybody here just because they like this game a lot? Mm-hmm. Partially the reason? Okay. I'm just kind of curious. Steph. I mean, is this actually, Steph, is this the first time you've been to my stream? I don't know if you ever raided into me, but this might be the first time you've actually ever hung out here.
Won't budge. Looks like some kind of electronic lock.
Oh, I'm glad. Glad you've been wanting to watch my streams. That's fair. That is fair. You do seem like you would...
Back to work.
I was stuck.
I kind of want to smash it.
Is fruit salad a good breakfast? Fruit salad is a fantastic breakfast. Having a nice start to your day is great. Okay, come on, electronic lock. Why would they not leave the door unlocked for me? How did he get in? Oh. I'll do. Come on. I read Gooner and I'm like, I don't do that. That's not me. Must be somebody else you've been watching. I didn't mean... Ah! I messed up. Try this again. Oh, yeah. Goonet. Oh, I have ice cream, too. Yeah. Which is amazing to me. So few people come across the YouTube, which, by the way, we will be streaming to YouTube and TikTok eventually. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh. Because TikTok makes sense to me. TikTok did amazing. I mean, like, TikTok has been popping off. Though I did have the one flop. I had that... I'm still a little salty about the guy going, this one went underappreciated. And I'm like, I just posted this. You're the third comment. Let it fail on its own first. And then it flopped. And I'm like, well, okay, well, fine. I don't multi-stream anywhere. I only stream on YouTube. Oh, sorry, Twitch. Look, I didn't know how to set it up, okay? Thank you for the lurks. We're gonna hook up? What? Get me the hookup. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I was about to say, girl, I appreciate you, but like... Oh. Reading is hard, okay? I was like, I appreciate the offer. Reading is hard, okay? Maybe a little bit. I might go over a little bit. I want to get in the house is the goal right now. Oh, hey, look at that body. How long have you been there? What's up, sweetie?
One in the head. He didn't really stand a chance.
But thank you. Thank you, Steph. I do really appreciate the help. Oh! Today is therapy. Okay. Actually, you know what? We're not going to go past... we're going to finish up 2 hours and then we're going to be done. Because I have to actually get my space more done. So, hey, Neeks. Therapy is every other Tuesday. Mm-hmm. I know, right? No. Fridays are my work from home day. Okay. So get everybody up on my schedule. Okay. Singing is on Friday. Singing is on Fridays. My vocal lessons are on Fridays. I work from home Thursdays and Fridays. Every other Tuesday I have therapy. And this Thursday specifically, we're doing a collab. I'm doing a collab. You're not, but you can be there. We'll hang out. We can vibe together. Like I won't be embarrassed to be seen around you. Okay. I'll make sure like I hang out with you at the club, at the party. I don't go clubbing. I've been to one club. I hated it. The music's too loud. Why would you want to go to that?
Locked. Maybe the pool boy has a key on him.
Ah. Yes, I take singing lessons every Chat Friday. Thank you. I'm a boy failure. I'm legally required to be dumb. Where is the stupid... There it is. Hi, missed you. Well, what have we here? Santa Claus, huh? Ooh, I'm really scared.
Mr. Castle, can I talk to you for a second? About what? You and Bianca Brenner. What are you trying to... I saw you two last night. Even took some photos. But your wife doesn't need to see them. I just... Shut up. Not here. Let's go inside.
One affair too far, Mark.
But yeah, so yeah, remember the Discord's going to be changing this weekend, or probably on Friday we'll do it. I might do it sooner than then, but this Friday we'll be changing to Discord as the authentication method. I'm just letting everybody know in advance because you do have to do a little like iPhone thingy. All right, let's go unlock all the areas.
Nice and clean. Is that the surveillance room?
Ooh, nice. Brain is trying hard. Brain is trying so hard. It's gonna be nice to be in therapy. One sec. There it is. Oh! You're right. We'll make the change tomorrow. The change is happening tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I'll do an at everybody in the morning, and then we'll do it for the evening stream. Okay. Hello, Ishmael. I'm doing good. All right, that is going to be... We're going to run up to the end here. You can join now if you want, but do understand that there's a third-party ID verification required, so you may not want to do it immediately. Wow. Today's been fun. Today's been so much fun. Y'all have been so great today. I really, really appreciate all of you. I mean, genuinely, you have all been so very, very amazing today, and it's just been great. It's been great, okay? I'm glad you all got to hang out today, and we just cleaned and hung out and talked and vibed, and it was worth it, okay? it was worth it. I always feel so not achieved, satisfied when I get to hang out with you all. Thank you. Let me see if we can find somebody to raid out to. We'll see if one of my lovely friends are online. Who the heck is this? A Luke's? I follow you? You're yellow. You're an orc. You! It's Wubby's wife! It's Wubby's wife! I forgot! Alright, alright. Succubies. I don't like raiding into collabs. Just chatting. What are they doing? Oh, they don't talk. Lululupo, you're local. You're local. What was this? Are they doing a big collab or are they? They're cool though. You want to read Crab Puff? How do y'all feel about raiding Crab Puff? They're playing the, yeah, we're gonna raid your local Crab Puff. All right, y'all be good. I'll see y'all next time. Say hi for me. We're gonna do a little bit of a lucky raid. There we go. Sorry I zoned out there. Boop, 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 boop. Copy the raid message. And I'm gonna go get nice looking for my therapist because, you know, all therapists are secretly there to hit on you. Kidding. Jokes. Please tell me y'all have seen that video. There you go. Are you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2. Bye, everybody.